So I'll give a brief synopsis.
Cool.
So Darwin and I have spent the last, what were we there, 21 days, 20 days in Hawaii together. And we met at a real estate conference. Well, it was a Grant Cardone conference, and we talked for 10 minutes. But I think the point that was most interesting to me, you go to these real estate conferences or business conferences, and the first thing people ask you is like, how much money have you made this year? What's this? What's that? And him and I's talk was immediately about spirituality and what type of person are you? What are your principles, morals, values? And so we aligned with that very quickly off the bat. So we had a 10-minute conversation, and then we stayed connected for close to a year on social media. And then I was supposed to go to Tulum, and he posted on his social media story, like, hey, I'm going to Hawaii for the next 2 months. If you're interested in going, let me know. And so I was like, okay, I'd rather go to Hawaii, meet this guy. He posts a lot of good content. We connect quite a bit. So let's go see how it is. And while we were there, obviously we had very in-depth conversations, but we've learned that we have similar results in life. We're both I'm on my third year of business. He's on his third year of business. So we're very close, numerically speaking, and spiritually and mind and body. But to get up the mountain, our destination was totally different. So a little bit about me is my family owned an agriculture company. I worked there from the time I was 10 years old to 23. I did everything in the business. They're vertically integrated. So I started off sweeping floors, packing fruits and vegetables in boxes, and then I moved to loading trucks, unloading trucks, running packing lines, which when I was 15, I was running an 8 to 10-man team. And then by 18, I was full-time in sales, and I was managing a 300-person operation. So the skill sets that I acquired at that young age, I took my platform, and unlike most people in the world who are like, oh yeah, look at XYZ, what my parents did. I took the platform and was like, how do I grow myself within the platform? Because I know I don't want to be here forever. So I graduated college, and I basically went one full year of entrepreneurship. I got paid no money whatsoever. Real estate was always my passion. So I went one full year of educating myself and adding value to people. And then I turned 25, and I turned 25. So this is year 3. And within 25 months, I've done 51 million of sales and built a $3 million personal real estate portfolio. In the next 3 months, that $3 million portfolio will be at 6.5 million. And I have no partners, no money in anything that I do. I take all of my earned income from my real estate business, my brokerage business, and I buy assets with it. Those assets pay me every single month. So our journeys are very different, but the destination is the same. So I think it's good that him and I are hopping on these coaching calls together, and I think he already called it building blocks. We're going to keep that name because I was reading. It's funny. The world tells you things in different ways, but I don't know if you've read this book right here. Do you know who Patrick Bet-David is? Okay, so he just came out with this book, Choose Your Enemies Wisely. Have you heard of it? So it's a great book. I would recommend anything, any content, he has another book called Your Next 5 Moves. I just finished it for the second time this year. I read it that quick the second time. But chapter 2 is called, like, we're sitting here talking about this yesterday, and I started chapter 2, and it's called Building Blocks. So it's like, if the world's not telling us something, I don't know what is. So, you feed off that energy and you listen to the signs that come to you. So yeah, that's a little bit about me.
Oh, very nice. That's an amazing story, man. I like it.
Appreciate that.
Yeah.
Do you have any questions for him?
Yeah.
As of now, no.
Got you. So now you tell him a little bit more of you.
Tell me a little bit about yourself.
When you started the business, who you are, where you operate from, parents, all that stuff.
So I live in Southern California, or Orange County, California, about 20 minutes south of LA. I'm 25 years old. I started this business technically in May of 2021. I was laid off in late March of 2020 from my latest job as what did I do exactly? I did like invoicing and like account products at a machine shop, basically. We made like iBox shocks and King shocks, if you heard of that brand. And so I did that for about a year. I was laid off in late March of 2020. I didn't work and do anything for about exactly a year because, as you probably heard, the unemployment rate was like really high, about $1,000 a week for people who were unemployed for about 2.5 months. And so at the time, coming from $1,650 or $1,650 an hour I thought that was a crap ton of money. So I lived off that for almost a year. The unemployment lasted for about 10, 11 months. But as the new year came of 2021, I was kind of realized like, okay, at 23 years old, this is not a life to live sitting at home all day at my parents' house. Actually, I was paying rent, playing video games till 4 or 5 a.m. and waking up at noon or 1. That's not a life to live at 23. And so I looked around for jobs, didn't really find any jobs that were suitable for me. I pretty much figured I had to start from the bottom and work my way up, start at 13 bucks an hour, minimum wage. And then I saw a video that said, how you can make 500 bucks a day clean windows. Okay, I'll click on it. So I clicked on it, watched like 10 videos that day. The next day, I literally got like 100 bucks worth of supplies and everything, and started going door to door to different businesses in my area. And by the way, it wasn't like pitching or knocking; it was giving them a flyer. Hey, I clean windows. Can I clean the windows for you? And of course, when I first started, I had no idea of what I was doing, how to price, and so I cleaned and spend an hour or two at a job, and you only pay myself 30, 40 bucks. So I was already ripping myself off. But then unemployment came back or something for some reason, so I stopped doing windows from like, oh gosh, like August to November and stuff because I got unemployment again. I was like, yeah, whatever. It was a cool little run to clean windows. So I'll find another job and I'll just rock off unemployment again because I got too comfortable with it. November, someone from my church said, "Hey, you should start that window cleaning company, dude. You can really get far more in your own business." And so this guy, November of 2021 helped me set up the whole like LLC, insurance, bank account, and everything like that. And so I guess like officially, I didn't start the business until November 2021. So my first full year, 2022, I guess, was pretty bad. I think I made like 40 grand. Didn't know what I was doing. I tried different advertisements. I tried Yelp ads, which was a waste of money. It was like 600 bucks a week, which is a big ripoff. And I got like no leads. And I stuck with my door knocking. I left flyers, hundreds of flyers at different businesses and at homes. Got calls here and there. Maybe work 2 or 3 times a week max. And everything would be each week. Maybe my best week would be 1,500 bucks. That'd be like a really, really, really good week and everything. And then in October, November, I started to kind of lose steam, started to get like depressed. I'm like, okay, this is not working. I literally looked up like business influencers on Instagram or whatever, and then Grant Cardone came up. So I watched his videos and everything on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook for a while, and then the growth conference was coming up, and it's like, hey, you can get the executive seat for only like 750 bucks since you're like a last minute and new Grant Cardone person or whatever. So I signed up for that. I got a call like 2 days later. Hey, you want the VIP seat? I'm like, yeah, sure, why not? It was like 1,000, 1,500 bucks more. So I signed up for that. And then like right after Christmas, it was like December 26th, 27th. I got another call. Hey, you want the it was VIP? Then what was the other one? The next one up? Premiere.
Premiere, yeah.
Yeah, you want Premiere? So I'm like, oh, I couldn't decide. He's like, oh, it's 3,000 bucks more and then everything. I was still pretty broke, but me having no sales experience, he convinced me to buy it, and so I finally bought it. I had a lot of regret going up to the conference. Work was slowing down because California got like the most rain out of like 56 years. We got 45 inches of rain in 2023, and we usually get between 5 and 8 inches of rain. So it was raining. I was virtually not working at all up into the conference. I was watching Grant Cardone more. I'm like, this seems more like a program for people who are already like making hundreds of thousands of dollars in revenue or millions of dollars in revenue. This is not for me. But I'm like, I'm already signed up now, so I better go. So I went. I checked into my hotel room. I had about 100, 150, about 200 bucks to my name in total. I maxed out my credit card, maxed out my debit card. I had like 150 bucks in cash and 50 bucks left in my debit card, I remember. And so I'm like, oh shit, I'm stuck here in Vegas where it's like at least 50 bucks a meal to have a decent meal. So I got there, I like laid in bed for like 20 minutes and stuff and everything. And was like, all right, I need to figure this out. I rocked around, went to the cheap or the fast food court. I'm like, okay, I can get 3 meals a day. I can get 3 meals out of this. I just won't eat breakfast because I didn't know they're gonna provide breakfast and everything. And so I did that. I was enjoying the conference pretty well, but like I said, I couldn't like join people for meals because they would always talk. They would always have little famous singer acrobats, you know, at the end. But then after that, about 7, 8 o'clock, people would leave, and I would still be, you know, in conversation. But then people would always go to dinner after. And so when people would go to dinner, I'm like, I can't afford that's 50, $100 per meal. And I don't want to have that expectation of people paying for me. So I'd always find an excuse to like leave that crowd. Oh, I gotta go get something. Oh, I gotta use the restroom. And I would just disappear because I was too embarrassed to say, oh, I can't afford to go there. So the very last day we were having the lunch at the premiere thing, and then I sat on this table with this other guy who like sold cannabis or something, and then Darwin comes up, sits down, we meet with the same guy, take a picture. Sorry, a little sick. And Darwin's like, hey, what do you do for a living? I'm like, oh, I actually have a clean business. Like, oh, I do too. I'm like, what? I've been looking for a clean business person here and haven't found one. And so the first thing he asked me, what's your pitch? I'm like, what? What's your pitch? I'm like, I don't know. I don't even know what a pitch was. And so after that, he left like right away. I didn't get his number or nothing. I'm like, shoot, I should probably talk to this guy. He knows what he's talking about. And at that conversation, he said, oh, I've had this company for like 8 months. So I've already made $1.1 million. I'm like, holy cow, what the heck? And so I didn't find him. And finally, I met him at that, what was that thing on Friday? Remember in that small little room that we
Yeah,
had?
it was the mastermind.
The
with-
mastermind. So I somehow got into the mastermind. It's the grace of God that I got in because I went to the front desk lady. I'm like, I got a bunch of packages with my deal with Premiere. Do you know if I got this lunch thing, this extra thing? And she says no, but since you're a nice guy or whatever, I'm just gonna give it to you since you're already here. So she gave me the ticket. I got the little thing and all that, and I had to go run all the way back to my room. Sorry, hopefully I'm not boring you with this story.
No, you're good. I'm listening.
I had to go all the way back to my room to get my luggage, and then I asked the front desk person, "Hey, can I leave my luggage in there for a couple extra hours?" Like, no, they got to clean your room out in 30 minutes. I'm like, shit. So I grabbed my stuff, was running around the hotel room and the whole casino area, like not sure what to do. Then I went up to that guy who was shoe shining. I've told Darwin this story, who we kind of made friends with at that place. I'm like, hey, can you hold my luggage? He's like, no, I can't do that, but I can if you want. I could take it for you and bring it to it's like the bell service or something where they hold your luggage outside of your room or something. And so I'm like, hopefully I can trust this guy. So I just gave him my luggage, gave him like a little thing with my name on it and say, hey, put it in that name. And he did it for me. And then at that lunch for the mastermind, I met Darwin again. I'm like, hey, can I get your number, Instagram, and all that? And then I started coaching a couple months later and everything, and it slowly got better. I started the interior clean service about 3-4 months ago officially. And this year, from going from 30 or 40K last year to this year, we should go hopefully over 100 grand, which
Very
isn't
nice.
California terms, but
I don't think you should shoot yourself down and say it's not much. I mean, it's a massive difference. You've doubled your
doubled it.
business in a year.
yeah, double and a
Yeah.
half. Yeah,
So imagine where you're going to be if you keep doubling in the next 2, 3,
Yeah.
4 years. Where you're going to be.
yeah,
at.
yeah, 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 100%.
But I think we can help you. 4 and 5x your business. It's all about the pitch, and then it's all about the service, right? You're in the service industry. So how good is your service? What's your retention rate look like with your employees, and what's your incentive program to keep your employees there?
Mhm.
You got to keep them happy because you don't want to be out there scrubbing windows. If you're scrubbing windows, your business isn't making money.
No,
So
it's
I was
slave
with Darwin
trade.
for the last 2 months. I didn't see him scrub any windows at all, and his business continued to creep up, going
Go up,
up in revenue. Why is that? Because he built a culture inside of the company. His employees want to be doing better.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's the biggest piece with Nathan. I mean, the recruiting in terms of like when he's recruiting and he puts people on the ground, what I tell him is that he gets 40 hours per week. So let's say if you recruit somebody else, you don't no longer have 40 hours for you, like to the work, whatever.
Mhm.
I mean, we're probably doing 100 hours a week. Now you have 140. If you
Mhm.
have 3 employees, now you have 220. Like
Mhm.
it's all a matter of like how do you view time? Because the time is an illusion. Like there's no such thing as time itself. It's
Mhm.
moments. But at the same time, it's like where do you put yourself in your business? And where do you put yourself in your business is where the business needs you.
Mhm.
Because if you're cleaning, like Connor said, your business is not really making money in terms of progress. You
Mhm.
might be getting paid at the end of the job for that specific job, but is
Yeah.
it really growing? Not really, because that's what creates like you're in a plateau kind of deal. That's when
Mhm.
you're like selling, cleaning, selling, but you're always like this. You're never like going.
Yeah.
But what do you think? To get Connor's perspective? What do you think are the main three things you struggle with when it comes to building this business? Because now it's not just window cleaning; it's like the cleaning service itself. I would
Uh-huh.
I would even say that your main business is the interior cleaning and the windows a gadget to it. So, what
Mhm.
do you think are the main three things that are keeping you from growing right now?
Finding, I would say finding good people.
Are you
Um,
taking notes, Connor?
Yes.
Okay, perfect.
I would say finding good people. I mean, I have one good guy now, but I had to fire another guy a week and a half ago. That wasn't fun, but I mean, he was a no-show. See, keeping good, consistent people in the business that will work hard and will achieve what I expect. I tend to not be super consistent, like with the door knocking and stuff. It's kind of my own stupid like procrastination fault. Like well, no, we'll work all day with my guys, and it'll be like 4 o'clock. And in my head, okay, I can maybe door knock for 30, 45 minutes, and then I just don't because like in my head, I'm like, oh, that's a ton of time. Oh, there's no point in doing it for 45 minutes. And then I would say the third thing would be people, consistency. And then I would say the third one would be customer satisfaction. Like how can I make the customer feel like as comfortable as possible? What's like the best kind of service, say talking to them I can like get to them, I guess. I don't know. I'm not sure how to describe that.
What do you mean
But
by customer satisfaction? Like happy with the service or get
yeah.
you out of every service that you get? Like,
Hmm.
what does that mean?
Like how to Let me think about this. Let's see. Like how can I satisfy them as much as how can I satisfy the customer as much as possible or sell them as many products or services as I can.
Okay. So when you
Yeah.
on the scale of 1 to 10, and a scale of zero being the worst and 10 being the best, where do you think your customer satisfaction lies on in terms of like at the end of the service is done and the customer reacts? Where do you think that
I'd
falls?
say right now it's between like a 6 and 7. Yeah, like a 6.
From
I would
0 to 10?
say. Hmm.
Do you get a lot of bad reviews?
No, but I don't ever get feedback from it.
Because you're
Cause
not asking for it.
Yeah,
yeah,
you're not pushing for feedback. You need to be pushing for feedback.
yeah,
If the answer is 6 to 7, I wouldn't expect for you to have a business still. Like there's no way you're getting
yeah.
6 to 7
I'm like,
because that's a failing grade in college.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? You wouldn't get customers texting you, "Hey, can you come back?" Or
Hmm.
calling you, "Hey, I have a friend who wants to use you." People
Hmm.
don't recommend you if you're not good. You know what
Yeah,
you just haven't heard it enough, I think.
yeah.
So two ways that I think you can do that, and Connor can give his comments on this. The Google page that I posted comments on, you should do that every single time.
Hmm.
I posted one review, and I can guarantee you nobody else has posted one. Not because the page hasn't been there, but because if you don't tell the customer, they won't know. Like I didn't even know till I asked you, right? So
Hmm.
it's like they don't know what they don't know till they tell them to. So it's like,
Yeah.
hey, you can ask them, hey, so in a scale of 0 to 10, how likely are you to recommend services to a fellow friend, family, or business owner? I told you
Hmm.
about this question before. And
Hmm.
then they will say, whatever. And why is the reason for your answer? And then you
Hmm.
can put the link below. You can give them like, hey, if you get us a review, we'll give you a 5% off on your next service.
Hmm.
Most people will do it for free if they're happy with their service. You know
Hmm.
what I mean? But the thing is getting them on the moment off. Like you just finish the job and like they're excited and they will post everything. Because a week
Yeah,
from now they'll forget.
yeah.
So I know what Connor says.
Thank you.
yeah, so I'm going to touch on a few things here. So your three biggest things, I want to make sure I got this right, is finding good people,
Hmm.
time management, and
Hmm.
customer satisfaction.
Hmm.
Okay,
Exactly.
so the way that I look at business, and I know Darwin looks at it the same, is business ebbs and flows no matter what. So you need to look at your business from a macro perspective. Is your business ebbing and flowing downwards, or is it ebbing and flowing upwards? It's going to go up and down, but is
Yeah.
the transition cycle up or is it down? And when I
Mhm.
hear these three things, I think they're all correlated
Mhm.
through culture within the business. So finding good people and customer satisfaction. So you should have good employees that create good customer satisfaction based on the
Yeah.
culture and the standard that you set inside of your business.
Mhm.
So do you have any non-negotiables for any of your employees? Like, what does your hiring process look like?
Usually there's an interview process, what they've done in their past, what values they see and work for someone, how they want to, what their perspective is of how they want to help me out and how they want to grow my business out and everything. The things that are like I'm very like this on are like showing up on time. I think that's very basic, and then just
Yeah.
doing a very good job, like just doing good quality work, no complaint, no dragging your feet, as long as like the job is done right and done with a smile and done, and everything like that. That's like my main thing, is just more or less just good quality of work.
Right.
How do you communicate this
I
through
would,
the interview? How do you communicate that through the
yeah.
I'll ask them like, hey, what values do you see through like a company? I'm not good at, I don't know like how to ask it or anything, but like what
So
have
you have to never say to any of your people ever, because we're on coaching calls right now, so I'm just gonna give it to you straight. When you're in the middle of an interview, you can't say, I'm not good at articulating what I'm trying to get you to do. You
yeah,
need to have it on paper and it needs to be concise and it needs to
yeah,
be assessed before you get there.
uh-huh,
Like every person in my life, Darwin's a friend of mine. I have non-negotiables for my employees, my friends, my mentors, my family members. Everyone falls in subcategories and they
yeah,
know what to expect from me and I know what to expect from them, but not
yeah,
because we intuitively know it, but because I told them and I articulated it. Your
yeah,
company's only going to be as good as your ability to articulate it to other people.
uh-huh,
So you can sit there and wash windows all day and make 40 grand a year, but you have to work on your articulation to other people to get them to buy into your vision. And then
mm,
once they buy into your vision, it's no longer about you. It's
yeah,
about how do you make your bus big enough that their vision can grow inside of your bus.
mhm,
Because your employees should be adding to, not taking from.
yeah,
And I see that in so many businesses where people mess up. And just reflecting back on my life, my family had 300 employees. So
that's
I got to
crazy.
see 300 employees who had no vision inside the company. So every time I would train somebody, I would get them to a certain point and they'd hit a ceiling. And then they would take the skill sets that they learned from me and transition into other businesses because that's what they did. If they can build that skill set, they're always going to leave and go do something better. So
Yeah,
you need to be hyper aware of that as your business grows. You need to be listening to what not only your customers are saying, but what your employees are saying, because you're a team.
yeah,
But you have to build that culture inside of it, and it has to be articulated almost perfectly, or they're
mhm,
not going to get your vision.
yeah,
See, you tell me you fired an employee because they're not doing good. I
mhm,
hear the leader didn't do a good job articulating his vision to the
yeah,
employee, so it just didn't work out well.
yeah,
It's never their fault. It's always your fault because you're the only person who's getting stabbed here. It's a
yeah,
double-edged sword, but that's what you're asking for is being an entrepreneur. The
yeah,
fruit from the tree is amazing, but you got to get the roots and the foundation built first.
uh-huh,
Because if you try picking the fruit too early, it's gonna die.
mhm,
Yeah, it doesn't taste as good anyway, so it's not
And
even good
yeah,
to.
and then I kind of want to go into one other thing. So that's you're finding good people and customer satisfaction. Those things are directly correlated. And I would say time management is correlated with you.
yeah,
And it goes time management, finding good people, customer satisfaction. They all run together, but time management's number one.
mhm,
If you don't have enough time to go get new clients, new customers, there's something wrong with your day-to-day approach, in my opinion. That should be number one.
yeah,
But you got to make sure you reflect
yeah,
on the organization as a whole.
uh-huh, that's good.
Do you have any take on that, Darwin?
Yeah, I mean, I think what Connor says is good. Because you see what he's doing there. He's prioritizing what you should put your focus on. Like your
Mhm,
focus should be first on time management because everything else will come out of that. Because if you don't have enough time to go meet clients, and who has it?
yeah,
So and the business itself is based upon the fact that new clients come in, but also at the same time, when they come in, who's gonna be on the front line to satisfy them? Recruiting, which is the people that you bring in. And the people that you bring in are gonna form the culture.
Yeah,
And then the culture is gonna make it easier for you to well manage your time.
yeah,
And then if you manage your time, you're gonna bring good people. And then good people will create good culture. And then it goes
Yeah.
around, and then it goes again and again and again. But then you go from 2 people to 5, and then from 5 to 10, from 10 to 20. So
Yeah.
small steps will create the bigger ones in the bigger spectrum. But the thing is like, what are you gonna like now? That's the idea, right? So how do you think you can start implementing that tomorrow in terms of time management, recruiting, and then culture?
setting a set schedule from, at least with the time management, start with the time management. I think all, like you said, ties into it. Right, a time, an hour by hour, minute by minute schedule what I need to do of how to improve the business. And so, starting with, waking up, going to the gym, whatever. Then tomorrow, okay, maybe in the afternoon, go door knock, go to previous customers, current customers, and say, hey, would you recommend me? Hey, could you give me a review? Here you go. Set up this, and set up this, set up that, and everything. And then just get.
You know what's an easy way of actually knowing what you want out of your day? But asking yourself, what are the 3 things I want to accomplish today?
Mhm.
You do 1 in the AM, 1 in midday, 1 in the PM. Like, what are the 3 things that if I do today will take me closer to the kind of business owner I want to be, the kind of business
Yeah.
I want to run? Like, what are the 3 things? And then those 3 things correlate to your 3 focuses for the day. Like, I hear, like, the big word is time management,
Mhm.
but you won't get any more time, right?
Oh no, yeah, yeah,
You will get more out of your time if you prioritize time.
yeah.
So what are the 3 things you can prioritize throughout your schedule per day that will get you closer to where you want to go? That's the question. So
Yeah.
what I hear, it's the first thing that came out is working out, gonna go meet clients, and then your employees. 3
Mhm.
things. Those were the 3 pains you were talking about. So how can you make a step per day
Yeah.
to ease the pain pretty much on those 3 areas?
Mhm.
So that would be my take. Like, write them down. Those are the 3 things that
Yeah.
we focus. So you can focus time instead of just managing.
Mhm.
I'll send you the recording, but I don't know, Connor, you have anything?
I think my question here is just reflecting back on your story. And Darwin and I also, like, we talk about positioning. Like, people ask me, what's your one skill? My one skill in life is positioning. To look at a business from a macroeconomic standpoint and find my positioning in the middle to earn the highest amount of money to funnel it into assets.
Yeah.
Or make the biggest impact. And so my question would be, if you were to give me a scale of 1 to 10, what's your passion in this business right now?
Helping people.
No. You personally, give me a scale 1 to 10. 10 being like, I'm so fucking passionate. I don't care if Satan's in front of me telling me you cannot have this business, or yeah, I'm gonna run through every single person that gets in my way.
Mhm.
What's your level of passion in the business?
I would say a solid 10. I would say a solid 10.
Okay. And then how many hours are you working in the business a week?
I would say between 60 and 80.
Every single week, 60 and 80.
Whether it's door knocking, sending emails out to people, finding different contacts, and everything, I would say.
Okay, so this is where you need to ask yourself, having a coach like Darwin. See, I'm from the outside point looking in, but he's in the industry that you're in. You guys started right around the same time. He's going to do 2 million in sales this year. You're going to do 6 figures, right? What is Darwin doing within his business and company that you're not doing? Because realistically, we shouldn't be asking you questions. I know this is an introductory call. You should be grilling him with questions, because I've sat with mentors who've done and walked the life that I want to walk, and I don't think they have time to even answer the question in full before I'm spitting the next question. Because
Yeah.
that's how ready I am. I need the information now. This isn't
Yeah.
working for me. Please help. Please help. Please help.
Yeah.
And so you have a perfect guide in front of you who's doing it on a day-to-day basis and flourishing. Not only that, taking trips, and his business is still growing.
Oh yeah.
That's where every entrepreneur wants to be. So I think utilizing that in totality right now, because you never know when you don't have that when it's gone, right?
Yeah.
You know, then maybe someone comes and buys Darwin's business for 30 million tomorrow. Now I know Darwin, he's always going to help people,
Yeah.
but it might not be there. So I think you don't necessarily replicate what he's done, but take his outline,
Yeah.
utilize it in your market, and I have a good feeling it's going to work.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I like that. So what kind of businesses does your what does your family have that you helped grow and manage and stuff?
Yeah. So my family was in fruit and vegetable distribution.
Okay.
They started it in the 60s. It grew from the time, or for basically 40 years. And then in 2010, we made a decision to vertically integrate the company. At that point, I was very involved in the business. I
Okay.
was, you know, I'm talking day-to-day work, and I went to school. I worked from, you know, 6 to 7:30, went to school, came home. I was back at work from 3:30 to 7. I was very involved. Like I wanted to be the CEO of this company and take this company global. That was
Oh,
my whole
wow.
plan. And then when things didn't align, I had to readjust. And that's the biggest hardship of my life, because I built a vision when I was 10 years old. And so I got to build it and build it and build it and
Crazy.
grow within the company. And
Yeah.
then whenever it snapped and I realized, holy shit, this isn't my company. I can sit here and go all day long about my goals, my visions, my dreams, where I think I can
Yeah.
take it, what clients I think I can get, but it's not my company. So I'm not in control of anything.
Yeah,
And
it's
then
not like
that's what's
organic to you. Yeah.
and that's what started me to open my own business, because
Okay.
you know, there it's a entrepreneurship is double-edged sword for sure. But if I'm going to make a mistake, I want it to be my mistake to be made. I don't want someone
Yeah.
else to make the mistake for me. And then
Mhm.
my wins are my wins, right?
Yeah. Oh, that's amazing and stuff. So from that, so what exact tributes or what kind of exact things helped you in that, in that distribution business, in your real estate business? Like what training or what experience helped you directly in that?
Every experience. I mean, my father was a disciplinarian from the time I was very, very young. So, like
Wow.
when I was 16 years old on Saturdays, he'd send me to a farmer's market and say, you know, you're not allowed to stand. I told Darwin the story. I was never allowed to stand in front of my stand. Or behind my stand. I always had to be in front of my stand meeting people.
Mhm.
So, you know, I was selling and I was constantly challenged and pushed.
Mhm.
But I think the biggest thing I learned, because those skills, Darwin has the same skills, right? He worked for someone else.
Yeah.
I think the biggest thing I learned was, even if I'm the winner, I'm not really the winner because it's not my business.
No.
So when I'm the loser, it looks like, oh, well, who? It's like you're saying here, well, I'm not growing because of XYZ employee. No, you're not growing because of you.
Yeah.
Like it's on you. It's on the person whose
100%.
name
Yeah.
signs the dotted line. And so I think I learned that's probably the biggest thing I learned. I mean, sales and the other things, they're all going to be attained and learned as you grow in business.
Mhm.
But it was a mindset set flip for me, that I'm not going to own this business until I'm 50 or 60 and my dad passes away. So I got to do something today.
Yeah.
And I went to work immediately. Like I didn't even know what I was going to do. I was trying to sell fiber lines. I was working at a grocery store. I was doing this. I was doing that, because whatever hit for me, I knew I was going to make it, but I had to figure out which avenue was best for me. It just so happened to be real estate.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
Yeah. That's the biggest thing, right? Like, you know, you're gonna be successful. It's just whatever hits first. And for Connor was real estate. He was selling fiber, he was selling a bunch of stuff.
Yeah,
Oh,
and I think the pro to that for me is that you know, I made a switch into another industry, and what it proved to me was that it's just like Darwin. Like, and I said this: if I was gonna go sell Pringles, I'd be the top Pringles salesman in the world. No one would outsell me in Pringles. It doesn't matter what I picked. If I was gonna sell window sales like you guys do in window cleaning, I'd have the top company in St. Louis. There's no doubt in my mind, because those skills always transition. It doesn't matter the industry. What do you always say, Darwin? You're not married to the industry. You're married to the game.
Yeah, exactly.
But it's about building those skills and the reps that it comes.
You're not married to the game, you're married to the discipline.
Yeah, that's it. That's it. Someone tag that.
yeah.
Because the discipline can be carried away to anything, right? Like,
Right.
it's so funny. People say, "What is success?" Like, what works for you? And then if you read enough books, you will start to see that they're all correlate each other in different angles. We read different books because the author is gonna hit it in a different way that's gonna hit for us. We're
Mhm.
just looking for something that resonates. Like, and then you can grab that and grow from that. But I think what do you need to work on, Nathan? And Nathan and Connor made a good point, which is what is your vision and your mission? I'll give you that homework.
Okay.
Sit down in a piece of paper or a book and write it down. Vision and mission. My mission is what I'm currently doing to get to X. My vision is what does that mean? Like, what does X mean? Where's my company gonna be in 10 years? Or what
Yeah.
is the end be all? That is the
Yeah.
vision. That's the thing that you see from afar. And your mission is what are you currently doing to get closer?
Mm-hmm.
So I think that will give you clarity because you have shown that you can close 5 customers in one day. Have you done that before?
Mm-hmm.
Have you done door knocking, close 5 in a day? Have you?
I think I've done it twice. Yeah.
You have. It's a yes or no question. So the thing is, if you have done it once, you can do it twice, you can do it 3 times, 4 times, 5 times. The
Mhm.
matter is, are you gonna fuel yourself with things that you can actually see? And if you don't see it, like if you don't have that written on paper, how are you gonna translate that to your employees?
Yeah.
If you don't have it clear on paper, concise.
Mm-hmm.
Like my guys
And I-
know our vision and mission to the T. And I
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
talk to them every Friday. That's the biggest thing. How close are we to our vision? That's the 100-year kind of mark that we're never gonna hit, but it keeps us from chasing something. And the mission is what we're currently doing and keeping them excited.
Yeah.
We got 1 minute left. Connor, you gonna add something?
Yeah, so are we meeting once a week? Is that how we're planning this, or how are we
Yes,
doing it?
yes.
So here's my homework. The most important data in your whole life. You're gonna go start a new business. The most important thing is the last year. So go
Mhm.
back and look at your failures, your successes, your objections, and then align your mind, your body, and your spirit. Come back to us and tell us where you want to be in 3 years, 5 years, 10 years, because
Mhm.
your goal to get there is great, but how do you sustain it for that long and grow it?
Yeah.
Because that's all it's about. It's about sustainability. You can hit 2 million. How many companies you see hit 2 million and then they die the next year? I see a ton of them.
Yeah.
So how do you continue to sustain success year in and year out? It's reflection. You got to know where you've been and who you are.
Mm-hmm.
Mission, vision, and then what Connor said.
It all aligns the same.
Yeah.
It's gonna complement each other. Like that's
It was
what
nice meeting you, Nathan.
Nice meeting you too, Connor. Appreciate it. But yeah, have a plan for 3, 5, 10 years from now, but have something that will continuously drive it. We'll have a continuous, method plan so